where I can signal to you? Like,
We're back and stronger than ever. TPI Composites is bringing jobs back to Iowa, building the future of clean energy with the power of wind. Wind powers the world. And here in Iowa, it powers growth, jobs, innovation, and opportunity for generations to come. When we build here, we fuel something bigger, a cleaner future, a stronger workforce, a legacy that will last. TPI Composites. We're back, Iowa, powering the world.
Attention all campers!
Keith Murphy.
What I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I have acquired over a very long career.
Andy Fales.
I'm telling you straight, it's my way or the highway.
Powered by AD.
Just a bit outside.
Murph and Andy. Proudly presented by Ramsey Subaru and BMW of Des Moines. Live and on demand across Iowa everywhere from the Channel Seed Studios. Murph and Andy. Connected by Cellular Advantage.
welcome to a fun Friday here on Murph and Andy Live. We're live from Tempe, West Des Moines, and Urbandale. AD is in Urbandale doing the heavy lifting. We have sports and more for the next hour. Andy, great weather here in Tempe, Arizona, but I understand great weather there in Des Moines, Iowa for February 28th.
Honest to God, I walked in my bare feet through my front yard today. It is about 70 degrees here. It is beautiful. I can't believe this is February. I know that I think we got a 70 degree day at this time last year also. So maybe we need to expect this every year, but I'm still not used to it. But man, is it welcome, particularly on a Friday. The golf courses are full of people. The patios are open across Des Moines. It may be fall, spring, but we are throwing ourselves into it completely. We're not. There's nothing false about the way we're treating this day. Everybody is making the most of it.
I love it. I was here about a month ago, and it was much cooler than it is now. It's mid-70s here today. We're by the pool at the Tempe Mission Palms, and gosh, it's just great to be outside, feel the sun on your face. I'm sure that's going on all over Iowa. I actually enjoy it more when you're here and you don't look like you're rubbing it in the face of people that are in sub-zero temperatures or just freezing weather, or as we've seen so many times at bowl games, you know, the sports reporter out in the ocean up to his knees talking about, hey, sorry, all you people back in Iowa.
Yeah, oh, geez, boy, what a tough job this is. And the guy's totally faking it because he's not having any fun. He's totally working. He's carrying really heavy equipment through the sand, which is always
golf
fun.
Course.
Yeah, no, he is there covering people who are having fun. He's working around people who are not working.
The Guest House Tavern and Oyster in West Des Moines sets the table for sports and more on a Friday, including Bring On March, Fight Night U, and Who's the A-Hole? That's coming up later in more, right after Scott School. Guest House Tavern, Northwoods-inspired Midwestern hospitality. Right now, high or low since the last show.
Presented by Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
Lots of changes for retirement accounts this year in 2025. Changes with taxes as well. If you haven't got all that set up or started on your taxes yet, you're not alone. Many people procrastinate this long, but if you're looking for somebody to help you with all that kind of stuff, Tim Hawkins and his crew up at Wealth Charter is a great call to make. Could be the best call you make all year. WealthCharterRetirement.com. I'm going to start with a story I did last night. I planned on this for a few weeks since I did a story down at the Urban Bicycle Food Ministry, and I was, as they were handing out burritos to the homeless, I saw this pile of interesting looking plastic woven mats.
Right. I remember you talking about this.
Over in the corner. Yeah, here's the pile. So you look at these things, and I was like, oh, what are those? Those look like sleeping mats that they would hand out to the homeless that would be sleeping on the ground. But then I looked more closely, and I noticed that they were made out of plastic grocery bags.
It's wild.
And I said, who made these? And I figured it was going to be, we ship those to Honduras and somebody, some slave labor market makes it. You don't expect it to be like a local story or maybe even one that has an answer immediately. But they're like, no, this Midwest mission up in Jefferson makes those. These like church ladies and stuff get together and they make these. So I went to that mission yesterday up in Jefferson. We made the drive up there, and it was just the coolest place. And I saw where they made these mats. Here's one of these mats. Look at how artistic that is. That's a bunch of, I guess Dollar General has the yellow plastic bags.
Sure. Yeah, yellow bags.
And then, somebody else has got blue bags, and they weave those into patterns. The white ones are, I think mostly fairway bags. But these, they make these big wooden looms, and like four women, older women, get together. They learn how to, pretty quickly learn how to weave these mats out of strips of discarded grocery bags that are, destined to go to the landfill or, blow off into the countryside, litter up a roadside. Oh yeah. I mean, they're so bad. They get in the rivers and the creeks and they clog the sewers. They're just awful. But they make something good out of them. So they're waterproof, they're durable, they're padded, and they give them out for free to the homeless, but they do like a whole bunch of other stuff up there too. So did you realize, I didn't realize this. So fireman's gear, firefighters gear, they can only use it for 10 years and then it has to be retired. It's expired. They have to stop using it. Even though it's all well made and much of it still has much more life left in it than that, but they can't take that chance. They have to just retire it for good. So Midwest Mission gathers up all of the old fire equipment from the fire stations around Iowa, and they coordinate with a charity in Central America, or several of them. Those charities send a giant shipping container. Midwest Mission fills it with all this fire gear, and they ship it down to Honduras or Guatemala or Costa Rica, where firefighters down there in the third world, they're fighting fires in flip-flops and shorts.
Jeez.
So they are happy to have this stuff. It saves their lives, puts all this trash to great use. Certainly probably helps them put out the fires too.
Right.
And then there's just a whole room of stories like that. So I love it when you just look at like a building, in a small town, and you're like, I wonder what's going on in that building. And sometimes you find out that there's amazing stories going on in that building. And that's what I found yesterday. And it was really, really uplifting.
That's
made me
cool.
feel good.
Yeah, I love that. And my high is nothing anywhere near that inspiring. I'm just happy to be here. And for those who don't know, our youngest son, Colin, is fighting at Fight Night University tomorrow night. He's the main fight out of 12 fights, the last fight of the night. And this makes me feel good. I guess my high is knowing that raising Colin on Rocky movies, raising him on Rocky movies instead of that ball-headed freak Caillou has finally paid off. I feel like this has all come to this
is the
moment.
realization of the dream of so many well-to-do suburban white Midwestern parents, Murph.
Right.
I mean, they hope that their kids get into boxing, right? I mean, that's what they're trying to do. It's
try to fight your way out of the suburbs.
Yeah, right. Find a better life for themselves, right? I mean, claw and scrap and try to put food on their table.
I'm nervous. I'm excited. The support has been incredible. I've had so many people asking for this is a pay-per-view event. I think it's $10, But so many people asking for that link. We won't know it until 24 hours before the fight. So that's like at 6 p.m. tonight. But that's been great. You and AD have been supportive. Chris Williams is here. It's a big weekend at Iowa State. Chris Williams is here. Kelderman has sponsored all of Colin's gear. He's going out to the fight in a Kelderman robe, all of that. So everybody has been supportive. Well, everybody except one person, and that's been disappointing.
I think that this is like the start of Colin's career.
It could be.
As a boxer. Do you have any idea how dangerous boxing is? I don't think you do. I don't think this fight lasts more than 1 round. I hope that he gets hit and he realizes he made a big mistake and he just goes down.
He's not. He's the main event, dude.
Just takes a dive.
It's the main event. Do you know how much testosterone is built up in that young man right now? He had not been masturbating, and he has not been with women. You think his opponent's been withholding like that?
Are you serious about this?
Yes.
He told you this.
I pulled him aside, and I talked to him about it. I'm basically his promoter. You still have a few days to book a flight to Arizona if you want to come and join me.
I'm not going to witness a young man going down a drain just for his dad's own selfish reasons.
This is making me a little uncomfortable seeing naked Colin and hearing about some of this stuff. I knew Colin when he was a baby.
I know.
It
makes me a little uncomfortable too.
Yeah.
And Chris, as you heard there from two guys, Chris and Chris Williams, supportive, like you'd expect a friend to be. And Hassel's not kidding. I mean, he's privately texting me too that I should call this off and that, this is stupid. Does he have did something happen in his life bad with boxing? Did somebody in his family or a friend get hurt or concussed or something?
No, I mean, to the contrary, he's not typically concerned at all with
about anybody.
Other members of the human race. No, he doesn't. He's not coming from a compassionate place. I can guarantee you that. But no newsflash to you. Boxing is extremely dangerous. It produces.
It's 3 rounds. It's 3 rounds that are wearing headgear.
Else.
I think 16-ounce gloves. This is not Hagler and Hearns. He played varsity football. That's more dangerous.
You think it is?
I do.
I don't know.
In this setting,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a 15-round fight with no headgear and small gloves. He's going to be fine.
I think it still hurts, though. I mean, I think you can still get punched in the face, right? I mean, can the glove reach?
Yes.
Your skin?
And Colin has said when sparring that he's felt jolted a couple of times.
You could definitely get concussed even with headgear on. There's no doubt.
Colin had to work last night. He works he parks cars, valet. They move around and they're hired. The company he works for, they're hired, and they go, these high-end, the women who have had their faces worked on more than cars, and the rich guys, they have events all over Scottsdale, and Colin
and they hire
go park cars,
valets to go.
Yeah, to park their cars.
Nice.
So the one good thing is Colin has learned to, now he knows how to drive like a Lamborghini or whatever other
sounds awesome.
up expensive cars. But he couldn't get here to see us last night until midnight. So he finally comes to the hotel. He comes in the lobby, and Hassel's on his mind.
Yeah.
What about Chris?
I was just saying, I think it's hilarious that all my friends think you're the biggest douchebag on earth.
Well, he is. Well, the second biggest douchebag. I'll let you know when I figure out who the biggest douchebag is.
Who's that guy?
Hassel is like number one. You're at Arizona State, but you're saying Hassel is the recognized number one douchebag in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's rankings here, and he's number one.
He's number one. Like, why does this guy hate me so much?
Why does he hate you so much? You're my son.
I'm like, I don't know why he hates me so much.
He doesn't hate you.
It does seem like that a little bit.
He's putting on, he's such an aggressive, friend. He's an aggressive friend. I mean,
you know what this reminds me of, Andy? It reminds me of Hassel in text messages. It's like a different person.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. It's like I know him really, really, really well. And I still get caught off guard, but don't know how to take his text messages. I'm like, what tone are your thumbs using when you are typing this?
I know.
So, yeah, I have. Yeah, I've not yet figured out how to do that. But you said you got Colin there with you though, right?
Yeah,
right
he's
now,
going to make an appearance on the show today. He
Right
just
now?
ate in a few minutes. But
Oh, okay.
he just ate a steak. Like, this is not fun. He's been taking this really seriously, but just like the steak, doesn't eat the carbs, no sugar, no dessert, no alcohol. He has taken this serious, but it doesn't sound fun. Interact with others on YouTube. Email Murph_Andy at iowaeverywhere.com. On X, it's Murph_Andy. It is all powered by the Cellular Advantage with 35 regional locations. Proud partner with U.S. Cellular since 1993. Let's get the buzz on a Friday.
The Buzz. Brought to you by Logier Heating and Cooling.
Logier Heating and Cooling, dedicated to providing heating and cooling solutions to Des Moines area families. Well, the March Madness about to start. Starts tomorrow. We get into March, which is where college basketball really cranks up. Iowa at Northwestern tonight. AD, the Hawkeyes have to win this, or can they lose tonight and make the Big Ten tournament? I guess they technically could. They could win the last two games.
Yeah, right, exactly. But this kind of feels like the game they need to win. They beat Northwestern at home, although that was on a last-second buzzer beater. So, and that was a different team. They had Owen Freeman, and it was way back in December. So I don't know. This will be interesting tonight to see kind of what the team looks like. I expect them to fight hard and have a close game, but are they good enough to pull another one out? You just don't know.
Yeah, that's the question. On the road has not been good beyond halftime for the Hawkeyes. Sometimes they've hung in there, sometimes not. Now, Fran McCaffrey was asked by Mike Loss and others about what he thinks of 15 of the 18 teams making the Big Ten tournament. And McCaffrey, paraphrasing, basically said it's ridiculous. He doesn't understand it. I kind of like it. I think it adds more meaning to the end of the season for the teams that aren't very good. Like this game tonight has meaning it wouldn't otherwise have between two bad basketball teams. So I kind of like it in the same way like relegation promotion works for soccer. But let's get a quickie poll here from WCI Pools and Spas in Ames and Urbandale.
What do you think of not all Big Ten teams making the Big Ten tournament? It makes it more interesting, or I don't like it. You got to include everybody.
I think it makes it more interesting, and I think it's necessary. I just think the Big Ten is too big, and too many of these teams are checked out. I think they're not. They're circling the drain, and there's a chance somebody gets a spark and makes a run in the tournament. It's very, very unlikely that they would run all the way into the championship game. Now there's so many rounds, but I think there's a much better chance of you just having a bunch of really boring games early on that people don't care about, and it just seeming like the tournament is too long, it's too big, there's too many different fan bases in one area, in one city. It's just too much. So they have to pare it down and then just count on some of the earlier games or the games preceding the tournament coming at the end of the season being a little bit more competitive than they may have been otherwise, because those teams are playing for the right to get into that tournament.
I agree with that, but AD, I'm interested to hear what you think as a Hawkeye fan and what you're hearing from other Hawkeye fans.
I mean, you guys make good points. I don't like it, and I wouldn't like it even if Iowa was not on the verge. If Iowa was securely in the tournament. I think the whole point of a conference tournament is it's a conference tournament. It's not the top half of the conference. It's not the best 15 teams. It's a conference tournament, and yeah, it's unlikely a team will come from the 16 spot and win the whole thing, but isn't that what March basketball is? Like that's what we look for. They're going to be bad games and teams that nobody cares about and boring games regardless of how many teams are there. So I don't like the fact I didn't like it when they announced it. And again, maybe some of this subconsciously has to do with the fact that Iowa is on the verge of not making the tournament. But I don't like this for any tournament. I think the whole point of conference tournament basketball is every team plays in the tournament. So I don't know how Iowa fans feel about it, other than it's I guess it does add a little bit of intrigue to these kind of meaningless games at the end of the regular season.
And there's probably a little bit more here than there normally would be, because you have many fans that are ready to move on to a different head coach, and those fans probably feel like the likelihood of that happening quickly is increased if Iowa completely misses the tournament. In other words, when you can start the process, you can start it as soon as the regular season is over. If that happens, again, Fran McCaffrey is the head coach. We've heard nothing different, but there are those fans that have moved into that space. If that wasn't in play, maybe some of those fans feel differently.
Well, I think the problem is here, and I know Andrew's not making a direct comparison to the NCAA tournament because there are really big differences.
Right.
But, in the NCAA tournament, with the rare exception of the super entitled blue blood program that just barely made the NCAA tournament and is thus a little disappointed in the season, with the rare exception of that, all of those teams in the tournament are happy as hell to be in that tournament. And they all understand that all you got to do is win one game and your whole fan base comes alive. And I don't care what kind of slumber they're in. If you have all of these teams involved in a Big Ten tournament of that size, I think you got a bunch of those teams who don't care about being in that tournament and a bunch of fan bases that don't care about that tournament. And that's just a bad look. It looks fatty. It looks gratuitous and unnecessary. I mean, it really doesn't look like you have got anything special in that tournament when you have early round games between teams and fan bases that don't feel fortunate to be there.
Each week on Friday, we have a Grimaldi's fan photo winner for a $50 gift card to Grimaldi's Coal Brick Oven Pizzeria on Mill Civic Parkway in West Des Moines and the District at Prairie Trail in Ankeny. AD, who's our fan photo winner this week?
Yeah, so Tanya Vitztum sent this picture. She sent it on behalf of Jerry. This is Callan Heasterman doing his Johnny Orr impression at Johnny's in Hilton. It was his grandpa's Jerry's idea. Jerry had triple bypass surgery 6 weeks ago, and they've been recovering while watching our show. So they watch the show 3 times a week, and that's part of the recovery. Actually, Jerry made it out to the party on Friday night. It was like his first night out since having that surgery, but he wanted to come and support Iowa everywhere. And so I met them and talked to them. But even before I had met them, this picture had been submitted, and I was like, oh, this is a winner right here. This is, Callan Heasterman doing the Johnny Orr. So they're going to go to the West Des Moines Grimaldi's and have $50 to spend, courtesy of the Murph and Andy Show.
Great story, and thank you for supporting Iowa everywhere. Iowa State, speaking of Johnny Orr and Johnny's and Iowa State hosts Arizona Saturday night. And here's what happened the last time these two teams met.
Get it off to Love. Love, midcourt. Shot is up. Good! Love has hit a 3. We're going to overtime. From backcourt, Caleb Love has just tied this game at 71. Bedlam at McHale. 5 more minutes of basketball, and we deserve it.
It was Bedlam, that audio courtesy of Arizona Wildcat basketball. And Arizona, of course, went on to win in overtime. And Andy, since then, Iowa State 4-4. And for various reasons, injuries, illness, seemingly some fatigue, the Cyclones just haven't looked like the same team this past month for the most part.
No, and there may not be anything in that, but I mean, you look at seasons like this and you look for watershed moments that made things, swing one way or the other. And it sure seems to me like that's a watershed moment, that half court, 3/4 court shot that he hit there. And Iowa State wins that game. And you just, I think you just carry yourself a little bit differently. They were a little shell shocked after this. And it's hard to convince yourself that didn't have some kind of carryover effect. You will never be able to prove it, but we sports fans look for stuff like this, and this stands out to me as maybe a moment that that changed their fortunes.
Joe Lunardi still has Iowa State as a 2 seed as of today. And of course, I think Iowa State can get to a 2 seed. I was a little surprised by that. Seems like they'd be on the 3 line right now, but 2 or 3 right in there somewhere. Need to finish strong here. And this will be a great atmosphere Saturday night at Hilton Coliseum. Tyrese Halliburton is going to be honored for winning the Olympic gold medal, and he's such a likable guy and one of the most popular players in Iowa State basketball history. So that place should be energized for all those that choose to watch basketball instead of Fight Night University.
Yeah, I mean, this is a chance at some payback, and this team needs the fans right now. They need it.
Drake won the regular season championship since our last show. 26-3. Play Missouri State coming up Sunday. And Andy, and maybe partly because you're a Drake alum, you don't want to join me out here on this branch, but I do think if Drake wins Sunday, and I expect them to win easily, I think Drake is going to be in the tournament with an at-large bid, regardless of what happens in St. Louis. I think they have the resume because of the quad 1, quad 2 wins, where they have such a high percentage. And Vanderbilt's season has been really good. They didn't just squeak by Vanderbilt. They beat Vanderbilt handily. They have a win at Kansas State, played in Kansas City, but that's considered at Kansas State. I think Drake's gonna get in. Does it make you nervous that I say that?
We've all said this kind of stuff before, and we do the math, and it makes sense, and then it doesn't happen, right? I mean, there are other teams that have the same kind of math going for them, and there are only so many teams that make it in. But I don't know. I mean, what I'm more confident in is Drake's ability to go and win that tournament in St. Louis. I mean, these fans travel much better than they used to. Ben McCollum has just shown that his team this year has been better away from home in kind of do or die games, not do or die games, but really important games, and every one of those tournament games is going to be that important. So I just feel like he's been able to where they have fallen short is in games like the Sunday game that's coming up against Missouri State. I mean, where it looks like they should just blow a team out, and then they let them hang around and they scare the hell out of the fans there. And a couple of times they lose. So, I am of the mindset that they need to win that tournament to get in. I want them to win that tournament. So the mark they're looking at right now, 2008 that team was 28-5.
Okay.
So this is 26-3. So they win 2 more games and they tie that win total, which is incredible. They could pass that win total without even starting the NCAA tournament. But what Drake fans want more than anything, and the bar with Drake fans comes up, like an inch at a time. Everybody else adds 10 feet. Is to go to the tournament and win a tournament game. Win a tournament game. We saw them win the first 4 game. That was incredible. It's the biggest win that we can remember Drake having. But I want to see them go to the tournament, win a legitimate first round game. Dying to see that.
I had a guy that got really upset with me. He's like, "Can we stop with the Drake has 5 new starters?" These guys all played together, and for this coach, 4 of these starters.
Who said that?
What? So that made me curious because
tell them to meet me by the bike racks.
Well, first of all, it is 5 new starters at Drake, no matter what you say, and the 4 guys who played together were playing at Division II, which is what makes it even more remarkable. I looked up, sure enough, doesn't take you long to figure it out. All the posts are about the UNI Panthers. So it was a Panther fan who was upset because fans are always going to fan. Caitlin Clark Fever tickets. We said when this happened, we thought it would sell out before it got to the general public. General public tickets were supposed to go on sale today. They were offered to Kinnick donors, high-end donors, season ticket holders in women's basketball yesterday. Sold out in 36 minutes, and probably would have been 6 minutes if they could process faster. There are some people who are upset about this because there are so many people, of course, who would like to, not exclusively this, but many people want to take their kids or grandkids to see Caitlin Clark in person, see the Fever. And they just sold out so fast. And then sure enough, Andy, the secondary market tickets start showing up on, SeatGeek and other places for $800, $1,200, $1,500. And Iowa has pledged to delete those tickets or void those tickets if they find anybody who bought them and sold them on the secondary market. But that's got to be challenging.
Yeah, I don't know how in the world they would do that.
I don't either. Maybe there is a way to track all that, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, now that you can't print out the tickets and just hand them around like you used to be, maybe there's a way to do that. But it also just kind of seems wrong. I mean, you buy the ticket, you should be able to do whatever you want with it. I don't love the fact that they reserve them for all their high rolling donors who've already seen her. I can't blame them for doing that. I mean, that's you're making money, and Caitlin Clark's run at Iowa is done. There's not going to be another one. And their men's basketball team hasn't drawn very much, so they've got some people to take care of and some money that needs to be made. But I don't know. It just seems like there's such a demand. There's so many people that want to see her.
It's not slowing down either. It seems like it's gaining steam.
Yeah, there's just so many people that want to see her, and there's so few chances. I'd like to see them spread the wealth a little bit more, but I guess I do understand.
This has been kind of a week here for some passionate fan crosstalk on the haves versus the have-nots. At Iowa, there's some fans. I saw many posts from people who are not able to be high-end donors. They're just really frustrated they didn't have any chance at getting those tickets. And then at Iowa State, of course, you had the passionate talk about, you can drink at a football game at Jack Trice Stadium if you're in a certain section, but not everybody gets to do it, and that doesn't seem fair. So, it's been a week for that.
You posted that interaction that Jamie Pollard had with was that the Iowa State Daily that he was talking to there? Yeah.
Really grilling the questions. Yeah, really asking tough questions.
Well, what makes that work is that Jamie Pollard actually answers those questions, and he gives you a really his honest opinion, which is not popular with everybody. I was surprised in reading the comments in your Facebook page, which you should never do that. Andrew.
Don't get AD started.
No, nope. It's the worst place on earth. One of them. It's terrible.
And the best.
But it is not the best. It is never the best.
There's some great people on there, Andy. Worst.
Okay, yeah. Well, okay, there's some great people on there. There's not a lot of great exchanges between people in there.
Yeah, some of the exchanges get nasty.
No, they're terrible, and there's some. Yeah, it's awful. So. I was really, though, surprised at how many people were completely supportive of everything that Pollard had to say. They don't want alcohol out.
There was more people than I expected, too. Yeah, there were a lot of people who agree with him.
More people that I saw that agreed with him than disagreed with him. That's only your Facebook page.
Yep.
That probably skews older. It's not a perfect sample.
No,
but. The point is, there are two sides to that argument. It's not, we get in our own bubble and we like to drink and we think that everybody should be able to have beer, and we think everybody thinks that way, and they don't. There are, and Jamie Pollard has told us this before. He's said, "Trust me, I hear from people on both sides," and I believe him. He does. I do think that this is something that, he's just part of him is holding this out. So it's another card that he can play down the road. You know, you have to you have to keep a few rounds in your clip. Can't spend it all, and this is a valuable one, and he hasn't really had to do that yet. But it is interesting. I mean, the language that he uses there, and he'll talk about drunks, slobby.
There were some wild quotes,
drunks.
yeah. And he clearly wasn't talking about all fans.
No,
some of it got framed like
people are just like,
painting
he's
all the
calling
fans with that
Iowa
brush.
State fans drunk slobs. Well, not really. I mean, he's saying that, you know, people get sloppy drunk or they're drunk slobs and fall all over the place. He's not saying all Iowa State fans are like that, or when they get drunk, they all act like slobs. He's pointing to a few examples, and we all have a few examples in our own memories of people that we wish we were not sitting by at a football game because they were shit-faced. And it doesn't matter what stadium you're in. There are people like that in the stands at Jack Trice Stadium now without beer sales in there. And all of this is a little bit ironic because you could just go outside the stadium and drink all you want, and people do.
They do.
So they're really not they're asked to go without for two halves of a football game or one half of a football game.
And now here's a preview of Fight Night University.
You know, I can't give too much away, but it's going to be a quick fight. First round knockout. We'll be in and out there quick.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Matthew Weissman. I'm here behind the scenes with Fight Night University, talking to our fighters before the big night on March 1st, 2025. I'm here with
Colin Murphy. This last 3 months, I've been all locked in. Then I feel like a pro by this point, so I'm excited for the fight. I hit the gym, gotta keep my body right. And then we get here, we train, spar, stay away from sugar, stay away from drinking. I spent hard, I go to ASU, so I'm fully locked in.
How's this fight planning out? Give me a play-by-play.
I really think this fight's gonna be quick. First round knockout. If not, quick second round. I'm gonna get to him and just take him out. Quick fight for all y'all.
You heard it first, ladies and gentlemen. Colin Murphy, first round killer.
And we're joined here now on Murph and Andy Live by Colin, the Irish goodbye, the Irish exit, Murphy. You got a nickname yet?
People are calling me Murder Murph. So
Murder Murph?
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what they're calling me.
No, that's a dumb name.
That's I didn't pick
Murder?
it. It's
Murder?
just it's stuck, and that's
like
just what
M-U-R-D-A?
M-U-R-D-A. Yeah.
Murder Murph.
That's what I mean.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You can't choose. Sometimes it just lands on you, and that's your nickname.
All right, so you're predicting a first-round knockout. This guy's 6'6".
Yeah, I think first-round knockout.
I think that's – first of all, can you get to his chin through the
Do we have any video of the other guy?
I can. I've been working on it. We've been working on the reach there, so I think I definitely can.
Yeah, AD, do you have the training video where the other guy is shown?
Let me pull that up here.
Yeah, so he's tall. How tall are you?
6'3", 6'4" with boxing shoes on.
6'4" with boxing shoes on. We have the weigh-in tonight. What are you gonna weigh?
I think I'll be at 198. I've gained like 15 pounds the last month because I was supposed to cut down, so I'm having to bulk back up again.
Why?
Because I was supposed to fight light heavyweight, and they put me heavyweight.
Okay, how did this happen? I don't quite understand. This is a pay-per-view event. I've never known you to box. I've known you to love the Rocky movies.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. But which Rocky do you like the best, by the way?
Drago.
That's 4.
Yeah.
That's 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've heard some talk here. You're fighting Black Drago. This guy's so big.
Yeah, I think that's accurate.
Okay.
Yeah.
4? 4 is your favorite?
I don't know, Mr.
T is 3.
Yeah, that's good too.
Okay. Anyway, back on point here. How did this happen?
I mean, they just came to us and they said they needed fighters, so I wasn't gonna do it.
Who came to you? They just
Fight Night University. They came to us.
Fight Night University just walked onto a campus with 70,000 students and said, "We need fighters." And now you're fighting in the main event.
We need frat douchebags, and I was like, I'm a frat douchebag, so maybe I should do it.
Self-proclaimed frat douchebag. Okay, well, you certainly. Well, you kind of look the part here. Definitely. Now, Andy, do you see the video for those who are watching on YouTube? Do you see the guy he's fighting?
I see a guy that looks sort of black. Is it that guy?
Yeah, it's a tall guy. Yeah,
he's not very tall though. Is that another guy?
I
don't see any big tall guy. I don't know.
Well, this guy's tall. Yeah, Colin on the measurables, which includes reach and height and weight. The only thing Colin is pre-gauged to be higher than Wenyu is swagger factor.
What's Wenyu's first name?
What's his first name?
Suanu. So Sui. That's what they call him.
They call
Sui
him
Wenyu?
like,
Sui
like
Wenyu.
Dana Altman.
Sui Wenyu.
Remember Dana Altman? Pig.
Yeah.
Sui.
Sui Wenyu. Go
Andy,
to the
you have a
University of
question for
Arkansas,
Colin?
and you don't fit at the University of Arkansas.
Yeah,
That's how you
got
sound.
out of there quickly. You have a question for Colin because he can't hear you, but I'll relay.
Yeah. So we all know the Mike Tyson quote. Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face. Well, you're gonna get punched in the face. So then, what's your plan?
The Tyson quote: "Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face." When you're punched in the face, what's your plan?
You can't have a plan. I have a plan. I've been punched in the face a lot during sparring. I'm fully prepared. I won't get touched much though. So
What? How do you know you're not going to get touched much?
I'm so much better than him.
Oh man, I don't know, but is there any chance he's watching this?
I hope so.
AD, do you have a question for the Irish exit?
Yeah, I got two quick ones. One,
Gilly Mayhem Murph that's pretty fire. That's
Okay.
Mayhem Murph.
All right.
Will this be his last fight? And then how quickly could he beat up Hassel?
Okay, will this be your last fight?
No.
What?
No, I don't think so. Jake Paul's next, and then Mike Tyson. I want him to be a little older first, and then I'll go for Mike Tyson.
Yeah, go for Tyson when he's in his 60s. He's
Yes.
almost there. And then the second question, AD, was what?
How quickly could he beat up Hassel?
How quickly could you beat up Hassel, and how much would you like to fight Hassel?
It sucks because I was so sad when he moved away. I looked up to Hassel growing up.
Yeah, he was around all the time. We had those really nice photos of like the two of you at Principal Park.
Yeah, I mean, he was like a role model for me. And now, looking back, I think the best day of my life was the day he moved to Connecticut.
That's the most disturbing thing I've heard yet.
Best day of your life was when he moved to Connecticut? Well, in retrospect.
Yeah, now. At the time, I was very sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now looking back,
I remember you cried when he moved.
But now it's like I don't even know. I feel like I don't know him anymore.
I know. Chris Williams is here, and Chris has brought the shirts, the Murphy shirts. Yeah, those are really nice.
Those are great.
Those are
AKC
great.
marketing, baby.
Yeah, those are AKC marketing?
Yes, sir. I made
My
those
gosh.
this week.
That's awesome. That's really nice. All right, Colin, we heard you on the video predicting a first-round knockout, but that's just hyping up the fight, right? You don't actually expect to knock this guy out.
I think truly Vegas odds, second round TKO. Ref's gonna call it.
Ref's going to call it.
Ref's gonna call it TKO second round.
And how much money are you making?
0.
Boy, what a shrewd promotion this is, Andy. These guys fight. The tickets are $40 to $60. There's pay-per-view for $10 a shot. And again, you're making what?
0.
Zero.
But I have Kelderman and Game Day rep me, so I'm definitely gonna win.
Well, that's
Yeah.
just
No
a good.
doubt.
That's a good promoter
doubt.
right there. Yeah,
That's a good
That's
promo-
what they
you
do.
know, boxing
Yeah.
has a few good promoters. That's
Yeah.
pretty smart. All right, Colin, we'll let you get back to it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. I'm
All right.
excited.
Jeez.
Good luck,
That's
Colin.
pretty- Yeah, good luck, Colin. Man. All right. I don't remember where we
All
are
right.
here. Oh, Confluence, official
Yeah.
beer of Murph and Andy. Confluence, where good things come together. Not coming together here, though. I don't think we can get a Confluence in Tempe, Arizona. I could use one right now. I'm going to stick to soda water.
Now you need at
soda
least
water.
2 rivers to have a confluence. I don't think Arizona has more than one.
No, it's a lot of rocks and desert and
Sand.
high prices is what I'm experiencing. Time for throwdowns.
Throwdowns. It's Throwdowns. Backed by Heartland Tire and Auto.
Heartland Tire and Auto treating you like family in Ankeny, Waukee, Knoxville, Boone, and Crescent, an authorized agent of Firestone and Bridgestone tires. We appreciate them as always. Murph, Iowa State has 3 tough games remaining. At home against Arizona and BYU, and then at Kansas State. What do you expect the Cyclones' record to be in those 3 games?
Ooh. Well, prior to what I saw at Oklahoma State, I would have said 3-0. I'm going to go with 2-1 now just because I just don't know if we're going to see the January Cyclones that we saw this quickly. They're getting over injuries, illness. They look tired. I don't know. Maybe it all comes back together. There's not a gimme in these final 3 games. At Kansas State, BYU, Arizona. I'll go 2-1.
Yeah, I totally agree with this. Boy, earlier in the season, I'd have said this is a no-brainer 3-0 right here, and now it's 2-1, and I think the one could come in any of those games. The BYU game is a scary one. Yeah, we just don't. What are we going to see in that first game? That first game will set the tone. I mean, they come out and look impressive, then I might get back in that 3-0 bandwagon, but I just don't feel like we have our thumb on what the Cyclones are at this point.
Yeah, Kansas State should be easy, but we saw what they did in Hilton Coliseum.
They won.
Andy, many people think Fran McCaffrey, the era will end at Iowa after this season, and the Hawkeyes could get a head start on next year by missing the Big Ten tournament. Should Iowa fans be rooting for their team to lose?
Well, I mean, you don't ever want to be on the record saying that, but yeah, I mean, we're practical fans. If you're, there are a lot of fans that are ready to move on from Fran McCaffrey. If you're one of those people and you've been both vocal up to this point, I mean, I think you say that at the beginning, say, yeah, I want them to lose. If they win, the fan in you still comes out and you're still happy. But I think going in, you can say, all right, I'm going to be fine if this happens. And you kind of move into that train of thought.
I don't think so. I think it goes against good fandom to root against your team. And even if you want Fran McCaffrey out of there, that decision is going to be made regardless of what happens, I think, at the end of the season here. Whichever way it goes, it's already going that way. And I think a change does seem inevitable here because of apathy. I don't think you can turn it back around at this point, no matter what happens. And there's so much apathy. But the guys out on the court are trying. I mean, remember Peyton Sanford at the end of that, or was it Oregon, the Oregon game, where he's just on the floor, despondent for several minutes? I mean, near tears. These guys are trying. They're playing hard, and I just don't think you can root against the actual players.
All right, Murph, you flew to Arizona yesterday. Let's take first class out of the equation. But if you could choose your airplane seat, front, middle, back, aisle, window, where are you sitting?
Toward the front as much as possible on the aisle. Because if you're toward the front, you get off the plane sooner, and you also probably got on sooner, so you can find a place for your bags. That's a real problem now. Happened again on our flight here. It was a full flight. You have some of these people that are taking bags that are way too big for what the intention is. They can't even jam them in there. And then the flight attendants have to take the bags back off and check them in. But yeah, you get a little anxiety. You're like, man, am I going to have a place to put my bag when I get on here? And by being toward the front, it helps with that. And because I start to worry, if I get put on the window and there's somebody that's not in my family on my row, I immediately start worrying, oh, what if I have to use the bathroom and they fell asleep? I'm going to have to wake them up. And then that makes you have to go pee. Once you start worrying about peeing, you need to pee. So give me the aisle.
It's been worrying about that for as long as I've known him.
Yep, hasn't changed.
No. All right, so this is what I want. Third row of business class, left side window, so I can lean the left side of my head up against the window and kind of sleep. That's what I want. Third row. First row, I don't love having like the wall in front of me. Second row, sometimes those chairs don't recline because of that weird first row. By the time you get to the third row, it's normal, but it's still really far up in the plane. So as you said, Murph, you can get off easily and you can get your bag up there.
The planes are getting so cramped. Oh. And yesterday, and Jenny's not a big person. I'm not a big person. Yesterday, the people in front of us both reclined all the way. And the person in front of Jenny never did tilt the seat back up. So she couldn't even get her bag out of there because, it's so tight. You can't even pull it up into your lap. Had to ask him once we landed to put his seat back in the upright position. I don't know how really tall, big people manage in some of these planes now. It's just getting so narrow. It's a tight fit.
It's the only thing that's getting smaller when it comes to like a personal accommodations. Yeah.
True.
That's throwdowns.
Ready or not, it's time for Scott School.
Scott School, Scott School, Scott School is cool. Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Scott.
Hi, Scott.
I forgot that I had my cardigan on, and you guys make fun of me, so I took it off. Back in the medieval times, the court jester was a very important role. And one of the roles, besides entertainment, was being a messenger and passing information on to the monarch. And sometimes that was bad information, bad news. And occasionally, a court jester from the warring faction would come on over to this other court and tell the bad news. And then they would take that court jester and they would put them in a trebuchet, and then they would fire them or shoot them back across the battle lines. And that was the original shooting the messenger. And that's Scott School.
Scott School, Scott School, Scott School is cool. Yeah.
You think normally like shooting them with a gun. Nope. No, we're talking about throwing them into a nice little slingshot and just boom.
Ooh. Hoodoo, the Odd Job Marketplace, presents Scott School each week. Good to have good things happening at Hoodoo. Even more to come.
Right.
I actually have an inside scoop on how big Hoodoo's about to get.
No comment.
Yeah, congratulations, Scott.
No comment.
Yep, no comment there. Also, is that an old school sound off shirt?
Yeah, that was back when you used to let me host. Remember that?
Yeah, I do. But
and then I ruined one of your vacations because I had some sort of opinion that got you in trouble. But I appreciate you so much, and I enjoyed the 12 times that I was able to host Sound Off all those many years ago.
You were great at it. And Scott, I was feeling sentimental today because I saw that photo of when you were teaching Colin how to golf, and he comes up to, well, not even your shoulder, and you taught him how to golf, but apparently that didn't take.
No, it didn't take. I kind of knew it that day that it wasn't going to take. Listen, Colin was always a cool kid and has become a cool man. Both Cade and Colin are incredible gentlemen and smart and so fun, welcoming. But we were out there at the old driving range, and it was pretty clear that boxing was the future for Colin and not golf. So I'm really glad that he finally found his calling. However, when I do watch the highlight video, I do have, being the keen eye for combat sports on Iowa Everywhere, I feel like that Colin has a little bit, his footwork's not quite as fast as I was hoping. But then I just found out he's in the heavyweight division. This is so dumb. He's not a heavyweight.
He's
a
200
middleweight.
pounds.
Rocky was like 178
at most, because by Rocky 3, he's sucked all the fat out of his love handles and just gone down to 3% body fat.
My point is, like, the heavyweight division has exploded. Those guys are so much bigger now.
Well, 200 pounds, you want to get that. Now, technically, anybody, as long as you're able to make that weight, can do it. But generally speaking, the power of the punch in heavyweight is so much that if you don't have the size and the chin to take it, it's going to be a bad night for you, whether you're a more skilled boxer or not. So, Colin, maybe I'll see you back on the golf course.
Let's get some more on a Friday.
But wait, there's more from Either Or Eatery and Patio.
The patio is kicking over at Either Or now. It is what a beautiful day to be there. Everybody's all pent up and wanting to get onto the patio. You check it out if you've got time today. They probably got some extra space over there. And don't worry if it gets a little cooler at night. They turn on those gas fireplaces.
Yeah, we were there for dinner Wednesday night, and the kids were out there running around. A bunch of other kids. It was fun. It was nice to get outside.
Yeah, it's like a dog park for adults, or for parents, I guess I should say.
a dog park for kids, really.
For kids and their beer drinking parents. How about that? All right, guys. we've buried the lead here. It is the last day of February, one of the two shittiest months of the whole year. So let's hear it, everybody. Show me how excited you are.
February rock and roll.
All right. So this is your 1 week warning. You have got 1 week until we move the clocks ahead for daylight saving time. Before we move the clocks ahead an hour and all hell breaks loose. So you've got a week to practice, to try out what that new life is going to be like an hour ahead, to try to deal with this giant curveball that's been thrown into your pie.
Every year of your life.
Do you know they don't do that here, Andy? So right now here in
You're going to be all
Arizona,
screwed up.
yeah, we're 1 hour behind Iowa, and then next week we begin being 2 hours behind Iowa. Like Chris Williams flew in here this morning and got here at 6:30 in the morning. It doesn't even seem possible.
No, it doesn't. Some big changes underway in the Beaverdale area. Murph, this intersection is not far from your house. Beaverdale's worst intersection is getting fixed. This is the corner of 41st and Beaver.
That's across from Snooki's where Players was.
Right. So Players is gone. That's been demolished.
Oh, no. Players is gone?
Yes.
Players is gone.
I didn't even get to say goodbye.
Yeah. Well, she's got another place somewhere else in Des Moines now, so she's okay.
Yeah, breakfast place downtown.
But this corner has been a problem, well, since I was in college. I mean,
Dangerous.
It's the craziest. I can't believe nothing has been done until now about this corner, because Beaver is a main thoroughfare. It kind of bends right there. And then 41st Street, you've got this weird cockeyed three-way intersection.
The only place I see more confusion, Andy, is where you see that car on the screen right now, if that car took a right and went down up into the Drake neighborhood, there's that
other weird one, right?
That other weird one in front of the church,
yeah.
where people who aren't from Des Moines traveling through there always stop when they're not supposed to stop, because it's just counterintuitive that you would keep going.
Well,
so
I
it's
lived right there.
always
Yeah, we used to
locked
sit out on the porch and watch the accidents.
Once this gets fixed, we need to update the list of the top 5 worst intersections in the Des Moines metro area. And we need to have that list, and then we need to pressure the city to fix them one at a time. Let's do it.
Everybody's got an intersection in their life that they just hate. This is high on many people's lists, but it's being fixed. Some sad news though in Beaverdale: the loss of one of its favorite businesses, Backcountry Outfitters, is closing. I have been to this store so many times. I used to live there near there. Such a neat boutique shop there with outdoor, really good camping gear, but also nice clothes. Really
and
fun
good people
that
there.
work
Good
there.
people
Really
that work
good
there.
people. Yeah. A good place for gifts. They just always had really high quality stuff. It can't be easy existing in that business against all the giant online retailers, but they made it work for a really long time. I'm sad that Backcountry is going away, but congratulations to that family for doing so well for so long. I really did love that shop. Coming to Woolies on Sunday, March 30th at 7 p.m. It's the Red Hot Chili Pipers.
That's awesome.
Look at those kilts.
I think they play like 10 different AC/DC songs. The Red Hot Chili Pipers. You had to form a band. Somebody the name may have come before that band. I mean, you come up with a name that good, you got to make the band.
It's like a Yachtly Crew.
Yeah, Yachtly Crew, another one like that. At Fashion Week in Milan, in Italy, low-rise jeans are back, and they're maybe too low. Style gurus are apparently not enthusiastic about the look here. This is how low. You got some crack there. That's like that's not just a coin slot. That's like you could put a full dollar bill in there. Look at
I'm all about people getting into the crafts, into the trades. I mean, this is the plumber pant. I mean, if you want to bring fashion from, the working class to Milan, this is it right here. Show that crack off.
Yeah, hang on a second. Colin, will you come look at this?
They also aren't wearing any shirts.
Have you seen this?
Might be the bigger
we
issue.
overlooked that.
Yeah. The woman has no shirt on.
That's the new fashion trend. Pants so low you can see crack.
There's ass crack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You seen those here on Arizona State? Because this would be the place you'd see it.
No, I haven't, and it would be absolutely the place you'd see it. I have not.
Yeah.
No, that hasn't hit here yet.
Not yet.
You could
Maybe
stick
I'll
like
start
one
it.
of those
That'll be my lockout
handicap
outfit.
flags in there. Those things are plenty of space. All right. Kim Hall, a 57-year-old woman from Goulburn, New South Wales in Australia, began speaking with a posh British accent following jaw surgery. She was diagnosed with squamous cell, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, carcinoma in her lower jaw. She underwent extensive treatment. Doctors believe Hall developed foreign accent syndrome. We hear about that from time to time. Foreign
Madonna had
accent syndrome. It's a real thing. It's a rare neurological condition that alters speech patterns, typically after a stroke or brain injury. Now, for those wondering, here is someone with a posh British accent.
When you talk like that, I'm tempted to ring for Nanny and have you put to bed with no supper.
Yeah, the great Maggie Smith there.
Wow,
That's a
Scott,
posh
did you do that
British accent.
Oh, yes, you could talk very nicely and just say, you are a piece of shit.
Yeah, and they really hit the when are you expecting this? They hit that the H in the
Yes,
in the
originally
WH words.
in the Old English, those words were spelled with an H first. And so to be really technical, yeah, they like to lean into that. Of course, over time, language becomes lazier.
Yeah, so this woman is speaking in a posh British accent, but she's Australian. And as a reminder, here is someone with an Australian accent.
He just decided he'd scoot up the road, and I just said, nah, it's not going on like that, mate. So I jumped in my car, and I started chasing him up the road, and then he went down a side street, and then the police were coming, and I flashed them and sent them off in the direction of him. But, mate, all I had was me jocks on. I was chasing him up the street, and I'm just like, mate.
Mate. Go drink
Loves
some
that
water.
guy. The Aussiest interview ever. God, I love
Remember that trick we learned if you say rise up lights?
Oh, yeah.
It sounds
Razor
like-
blades.
Yeah, rise up lights.
Yeah.
Rise up lights.
That does. Researchers at the University of Michigan analyzed more than 5,800 foods, looking at how things like additives, fats, calories, and sugar content affect longevity. They have determined that eating a hot dog takes about 36 minutes off of your lifespan.
I'm dying soon. I love a good hot dog, especially at the ballpark.
But for 36 minutes of your time? Ugh.
Well, what if it's the wrong 36 minutes, too, right?
That's a great point.
Something's about to happen. You just need a little bit more time.
I've spent 36 minutes on the toilet after a hot dog. Maybe that's
Jeez,
what they mean.
Maybe that's what they're talking about.
Yeah,
My
that's a good
gosh.
point.
All right, come on. Let's finish off the month of February on a really positive note.
Okay.
With a game of Who's the Asshole?
You asshole.
You're an asshole.
Stop breaking the law, asshole! Back off, asshole!
This machine just called me an asshole.
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Keep firing, assholes!
I'm an American. You're a sick asshole.
All right, so here's what this guy has to say. He says, quote, I would never have thought that something like this would incite so much drama, but my whole family is arguing about it now. I wouldn't have doubted that I was in the right before my father chewed me out, but now I feel like I'm losing my mind. So, in December, my brother, who's 26, asked me, I'm 39, for a $700 loan. I don't make a lot of money. I don't have that much to spare at any time, let alone the holidays where I need to save for gifts, etc. He did need it for something important, to get his truck fixed so he could still go to work. I get that it's a big deal, but I simply can't spare that kind of money. He ended up losing his job. Fast forward to February. My dog stopped eating, and we had to take him to the emergency vet. God, is that expensive. It turned out to be a dental abscess, and it cost me about $1,200 to get him treated. You probably know where this is going, but my brother found out, and he's seething mad. He blames me for his job loss, claiming that if I had the $1,200 for my dog and not $700 for him, I'm a terrible person. I was able to shrug that off at first, but he won't budge, and now he has other people in the family harassing me. Our father is on his side, and he's told me that I should apologize for my priorities. They're both saying this is proof that I lied about not having $700, but I never claimed I didn't have access to that much money at all. I just said I couldn't afford to spare it. I have tried to tell them that it was an emergency, but they just say so was my brother's problem. My dog depends on me. I'm all he has. My brother is a grown man who has other people he can call. He just doesn't want to embarrass himself, I think. Who's the asshole? Is it the brother with the broken truck, the brother with the dog, or the parents? Because I think you got to throw the parents in here.
I agree.
Because they're standing by doing nothing, and they're taking sides when they've done nothing.
Yeah.
I think it's either the parents or the brother with the broken truck. I don't think the brother who didn't loan the money is the asshole.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the brother who has the broken truck. Things get tough. Finances suck. You make mistakes. Bad luck happens to you. But that's not a one-time thing. A lot of times we want to make it just like, oh, it was just this one decision that led to this. But no, it is thousands of decisions that led up to this situation. And trying to obfuscate what your responsibility is off onto your brother and then turning it into a toxic family relationship, to me shows that this brother with the truck problem has got a lot more problems, and he doesn't want to actually face them.
I think it's the brother with the truck. I think he's the a-hole here because he could have asked somebody else for the money. I mean, it's including the parents, and the parents, by the way, they have helped this the guy with the dog. They've helped him get picked on even more by suggesting that he's the bad guy. There's not just the one person who could have offered up the $700. There's more people that could have done it. For taking him at his word that he just comfortably could not loan that money. And by the way, as you've said many times, Andy, and your family, you're kind of taught like don't loan money to family. Give it to them or don't. Yeah. But don't loan it because that often leads to family squabbles and strife and resentment. But yeah, to suggest this is the only guy that could have come up with the money and that's now the reason you don't have a job, that seems unfair. And there is a difference between an actual emergency. I realize a dog's not a person, but many of us are really attached to our pets. And that's an emergency. You're trying to save the dog's life. I
made a commitment to, I agree. I'll for the heck of it, I'll make a case for the parents being actually, we haven't heard from Andrew yet, have we?
I know what he's going to say.
Yeah, what Andrew's
screw the dog.
Yeah, he's going to say screw the dog.
Well, I do believe that, but even then, I usually can find a different angle on these things and be the contrarian. I can't hear the brother with the broken truck is the asshole, even if he needed. I mean, you can find a different way to get to work. You can find a different way to fix your truck. You can find a different way to get the money. None of this is his brother's fault. None of this is his parents' problem. This is his problem, and he wasn't able to effectively deal with it, and that's on him. To try to drag your brother into it makes you a real asshole.
It almost looks like it's an opportunistic family looking to bag on this guy for some reason. This is a lot to dump on somebody.
It is.
I think the guy with the truck is an asshole, but the parents are being assholes too, and it seems like they should be bigger than that. Like as parents, they should be the ones that should see the big picture, and all they're doing is they're part of the big picture. They're making it worse. First of all, they've got one son who's 26 years old, and he's $700 away from ruination, and they're just going to stand by and not only let that happen, but they're going to pass the blame on to the other kid,
right?
Who doesn't have all that much money either, but at least has enough to take care of their own priorities. The parents needed to step up, and if maybe they're flat broke too, but they need to step up and be like, no, this is you. You're 26 years old.
Yeah, it's your responsibility.
Your responsibility. You've got to do that. We've got to work something out. And if you don't, that's on you. I mean, they're basically just helping their younger son, pass off his guilt and blame.
Yeah, Scott, this has to be something you could kind of relate to, like when your parents sent your brother to private school, to Carroll Kemper, and you had to go to public school. So you know what it's like to feel like, oh, the parents have a favorite son. That's what this feels like.
I do, and I've been working my whole life to get my parents to love me. One of these days. Too bad my dad's in the ground, but still working on my mom.
Your mom loves you.
Get Hoodoo to fix that.
Yeah, the first thing, if it ever happens, the very first big purchase will be a beach house for my mom anywhere in the world. She has earned it, and I'm very excited.
Brother
for
can't
that.
come.
With the inside information I have, you might have that beach house soon.
Stop it. No comment.
Ooh, suspense.
Hey, we do, Cap and Andy.
Yeah, that's your more, everybody.
There was some news out today, just came out. Iowa State President Wendy Winterstein has extended Jamie Pollard's contract for 5 years. So anyone who thinks Jamie stepped in it and is somehow in some kind of jeopardy, 5 years, probably not a coincidence on the timing.
What's more or less of a shock, this extension or when Ferentz backed Chris Doyle and gave him like Coach of the Year right after the whole scandal, Rabdogate?
This isn't anywhere close to that.
Yeah,
that's a horrible comparison.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
but remember when that happened?
I do.
That's how you just, if the public's going one way, you just say nope.
That was a middle
right
finger.
Here.
Yeah,
Yep.
and this is Jamie Pollard, despite sometimes his candor gets him sideways with some of the fan base, as Andy pointed out earlier. More people than you think completely agree with him on what he said, and it has been kind of misrepresented in the public some that like he was calling all Cyclone fans slobs or idiots or anything like that. He wasn't. He was calling particular fans that, and I wouldn't do that. I don't think it's smart to do that. But he always speaks his mind, and with that comes the good and the bad. But he's like the last guy that does that, and
people
I
like
appreciate it.
They do like it.
Yeah, you know where you stand with Jamie Pollard.
No doubt.
do.
And that
I
is,
like it.
That is a rarity today, and he is a true individual. He is not a shill. He is not somebody that is always on a campaign. He's a guy that's set.
He doesn't care about being famous.
Nope, he doesn't.
He just wants to get the job done.
He does, and I mean, honestly, that's really that should be all anybody at Iowa State really cares about, is that guy has made everything sports at that university, with the exception of baseball, way better in his time. Everything way,
you tried for 100
better.
years being orthodox in how you did your hiring. You get an unorthodox director of athletics, and it works.
Scott, you are an Iowa State alum. Think about this for a moment. There are some in the fan base that were still complaining about an 11-win football season, and there are some in the fan base right now that are still complaining that Iowa State might be sliding it on the men's basketball team down to a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament. I mean, these times are different.
Earlier today, fans are going to fan. But I think that's not most fans. I mean,
No,
we
it's not.
get
It's
reminded that every year in RVTV that when you go out there, Hawkeye and Cyclone fans are sitting side by side. It's just when you get into social media, it just looks so toxic and nasty.
You pay attention to the loudest voices. Pay more attention to the loudest voices. All right, it is time for the Andrew Downs audio drop of the day. We proudly call it the AD squared.
We sure do, and it's powered by Game Day Men's Health. You can find them in Ankeny in the Prairie Trail neighborhood, West Des Moines on University, or North Liberty on the eastern side of the state. And they are a proud supporter of Colin Murphy for tomorrow night's Fight Night University. I'm excited to check this out, and thank you to Game Day for their support. It is Friday, so some parental advisory is necessary. None of these bleeps are necessary. It's all innocent conversation, but I place bleeps to make you hear things that aren't actually being said. Shout out to Jimmy Kimmel Live for the inspiration. What you hear is on you, not us. It's This Week in Iowa. Unnecessary censorship.
Mark Woodley stayed here at our house the past couple of nights. It's just kind of fun to come home now that we're empty nesters. Jenny is long asleep. Mark would be here, and I could go into the family room and
This is pride. This is sports. It's competition. It's men getting up.
I just don't get these officials, especially in these late game situations. Just let it go. There was no reason to call that foul there. It wasn't like they were each other.
Does water have a flavor?
Sometimes, I mean, the water at my Aunt Dora's house tasted like you were licking an iron.
I remember Colin as a little boy, and now he's this hulking monster who's worked his
He's
ass
not
off.
bigger than the guy he's
It doesn't
The guy
matter.
he's is bigger than he is.
It sounds like their laws are similar to ours. As I found out when we the horrible you don't really win when you go to somebody.
Wow. Jeez.
Nice job, AD.
I don't remember what that was about. Yeah.
Some of these don't seem like there could have been alternative takes on what's being said. You're getting a little too good at this.
And Andy was suing a contractor.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
That makes sense.
Okay.
A horrible one.
Suing a contractor.
Quickie poll results.
Don't you ever wonder, like, if Andrew is really listening to you when you're having a conversation with him, or is he just sitting there?
It just bleeps in my head.
Looking for unnecessary censorship.
You don't want to be in there.
Okay. Ooh, wow, this is a close vote here. What do you think of not all Big Ten teams making the Big Ten tournament? Ooh.
Wow.
This is a 50-50 vote. This is what this is. Makes it more interesting. 49.6%.
That is as split as it gets.
Yeah, and don't like include all. 50.4%.
Wow.
So you round the one down and the one up, and you got a 50-50 tie. So, that's people are divided over what to do there in the Big Ten tournament.
The point of the Big Ten tournament is to make money. So I don't understand why they wouldn't want to have more games. That's more television. It's more ads. The game is ridiculous. I mean, the tournament means nothing in almost all the situations. So just make money on it. I don't understand what the Big Ten's doing here. Get all the teams there. Hi, Colin.
Hey, Scott. How you doing?
You want to go golfing later?
I'd love to.
That Scott got kind of choked up, that photo of the two of you where he taught you how to golf, and now it's all coming together tomorrow night when you box.
Yes. Scott really led the way for this.
Yeah, remember, hey, the footwork on the golf swing is the same as that hook. Like when you're throwing that hook, make sure you're twisting from the hips all the way from the ground. Get that sucker in there and throw a little. I'm going to be watching, Colin, and I'm excited to see you throw an uppercut to a guy that's taller. That's what I'm looking for.
I want that as well, honestly. And I'll do it for you, and I'll look at the camera.
How's your jab right now? Are you your jab's going to be really important in this?
The jab's really solid.
Okay, keep your distance.
But Scott said your footwork leaves a little bit desired.
So that the sparring video was from like a month and a half ago.
Okay,
so we've made a lot of improvements since then.
Good, I love it.
All right, Andy, what are your
excited.
concerns going into fight night?
Oh, well, Mike, long before fight night, my concerns are on your forehead right now. You're going to have a horrible sunburn. Colin, would you get some sunscreen for your old man?
I
There?
will.
It's
I
starting
will.
to starting
That's a
to
lot of
lobster
forehead.
up. Yeah.
I
No,
should've-
good luck, Colin. We're pulling for you back here. I hope
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hands up.
I want to say have fun, but I don't think that applies in boxing, does it?
How disappointed are you going to be if you lose?
It won't happen. Can't
Colin,
speak
have you been
English.
working at all at the
You gotta
liver
act
shot?
like if you're gonna box, you gotta act like a boxer. They
Have
don't
you been
ever
working
talk
on the
about
liver
this.
shot? I'm just thinking with the height difference, if you
I
can get a
have.
solid hook right into his liver, you could drop his ass.
Hey,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Colin, here you go. Word of advice: anything goes wrong, punch him right in the dick.
I agree.
I mean
fully.
I don't care how big a guy is.
Who you calling out? When you
punch
win.
you punch his tip, and he
you-
falls like a tree.
Hey, you
Yeah.
get one. My bad. I didn't mean to do that. So I'll just do that at the end.
Yeah, oh, my bad. And by the way, we got some comments. Sam Lozada, Colin straight up looks like he could take the lunch money of everyone involved at Iowa Everywhere.
Chris
Not
Hassel
me.
only.
No, unfortunately, my jujitsu would take him out, but it's fine.
Tracy writes that, guys, regarding Mr. Hassel's comments, you can't spell hassle without ass.
Yeah, it's almost asshole.
Marty says, whoop his ass, Colin.
I will.
Yeah, there's a
Colin,
lot of
when
people
you
behind
win and you get on the microphone, you got to know who you're calling out, and you got to call them out hard. Who are you calling out?
Mike Tyson.
I think you should do Jake Paul. That's more likely.
But I think I have a
Jake
better
Paul,
shot
I want
against
you now.
Mike
when in
Tyson
doubt,
is
when
my
in doubt,
age.
when in
Yes.
doubt, Colin, you just remember the lessons you learned growing up on the mean streets of Forestdale.
And I mean, it was a struggle out there.
Yeah, Colin,
It
do you
is,
think you
yeah.
can fight your way out of the suburbs?
I do. I didn't know if it was gunshots or fireworks on the 4th of July. So
Right.
Yeah. Well, nothing.
Yeah, those
nothing raises
IT
a boxer
professionals
like-
down the street. Yeah. You know where you came from.
Yeah, we'll
That Lutheran
celebrate at
pastor on the
Snooki's.
corner.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
Imagine
no.
they took your cone at Snooki's.
Oh,
Kick his ass.
that's what I'm gonna imagine.
He used to work at Snooki's.
Yeah,
Did you?
yeah.
Would you say you sold more ice cream or gave it away?
Oh, gave away way more ice cream.
Oh,
I mean, I should say that on live. I sold only 100% ice cream.
All right. Hey, this has been fun.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
You're gonna be
we've
so
had fun with it.
sunburned, Murph.
I know.
Jesus Christ.
More likely, I'm peeling by Monday, or Colin is knocked out.
Feeling.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
peeling.
peeling.
He's going to be fine.
You're definitely peeling.
Use that jab, establish your distance. You got this. It's all in
Yes,
the
sir.
footwork, Colin.
Yeah.
Hey,
Listen to what Scott says. Do the opposite.
No footwork, no jab.
It's been really cool. Just this community of support we're in at Iowa Everywhere. It's been fun. Gosh, it's all gotten back to Colin here, especially the hatred for Chris Hassel here on the Arizona
friends hate
State
Chris
University. They
Hassel.
hate him, don't they?
They
How much
hate
they
him.
hate him?
So they're like, who is that asshole? I'm like,
It's not Hassel, it's
it's
Hassel.
Hassel.
It does
I've been
sound
asked
very
that by,
similar.
like 20 different people.
Yeah, I know. So it's been awesome to see, though, all the people that have gotten behind this and some who are going to watch. That's fun, and we appreciate you indulging us on that. Thank you for being part of Murph and Andy and supporting local media. Be sure to check out the merch store at iowaeverywhere.com. Thanks to Andrew and AKC Marketing for making these cool shirts for the fight tomorrow night.
Awesome.
We'd appreciate it if you like, review, and subscribe. Have you liked and subscribed?
Oh, of course.
Okay,
On
thank
multiple
you.
accounts.
What about your friends?
Yeah.
There's like 100,000 students here overall.
I'll get you guys to 200K by the end of the day.
Okay, thank you. Whatever platform you found us, we appreciate it. We are back Monday, and we hope you are too.